Good morning, I'm Daphne. Welcome to Brigit's Breakfast. Today I'm drinking tea. It is mint tea. I am still in energetic cleansing mode from the last week. I remember I talked about in the last Brigit's Breakfast, we talked about in bulk and how it was a week of cleansing, all kinds of cleansing, energetic cleansing, emotional cleansing, thoughts cleansing, cleansing your home, decluttering your house, cleaning your magical instruments. And so I'm still in that mode and I'm drinking mint tea instead of coffee today. So what have you been up to this week? I did lots of decluttering. In my closet upstairs, I found things that I thought had been gone forever, because I took everything down from the top shelves and took everything out of bags and boxes, things that were just stuffed in there just to put anywhere. I took things out and I looked one by one at things that do I need to throw away, donate, or keep. And so that was a fun little exercise. It gave me a chance to see what I really want and what I really, is this something that I might need to use again? I'm an artist, and so I always think that I might need something for a project in the future, because that's happened to me before. I have an idea for something. I'm like, oh, I can use that thing. That thing that I put in some closet of years ago, and I thought I'd never need it, and now I need it. So there it is, and I use it, and I'm like so happy because I have that thing and I don't have to go out and buy it. I'm kind of getting out of that habit because it ends up accumulating a big mess, and then I can't find anything. So I have to really think and meditate on some items that I decide I'm going to keep. And then I also did some body cleansing, meaning that the other day I had a lymphatic draining massage, and so it was like one that was very strong, because sometimes the ones that are the lymphatic draining massages are very soft and they just kind of push it up to your lymph nodes, and it's very soft. And I tell the lady, I'm like, do it the hardest that you can. So they do it very like deep massage. It like they and they get into there. The toxins that are in your body, it kind of like pushes them away. It pushes them out towards your lymph nodes, so then it can be easily sent out of your body through like you're urinating. That's how it goes out, and then you like end up going to the bathroom like right after. And also the all the stars aligned and the planets aligned and the moon aligned and everything aligned for exactly during this time. I was able to take part in an ayahuasca ceremony on Sunday, which was the day of the full moon. So it was a lot of energy all at once, and it was really, really meaningful and moving to me and very, very cleansing. So that takes us to our Sesame Street moment of Brigit's Breakfast. But before we get into that, make sure you tell me in the comments how you were able to do your cleansing this week. If you were successful, if you feel like you still need to do it, we're still in that energy where you can take advantage and go ahead and continue your cleansing that you need to do in your decluttering. Or if you were able to connect to Brigit more this week in some way, let me know how you did that, or if you have any questions about how you might want to do that more. Put in the comments. This Brigit's Breakfast is brought to you by the letter F for full moon. The full moon is a time where moon energy is at its most powerful, fertile, generous, creative, loving, healing, and nurturing. The full moon corresponds to the mother goddess or the mother archetype, bringing all these energies of the mother of creation and nurturing. Whether the nurturing be of children or of projects, they are ideas that we can bring into reality. She connects us to the cycle of growth and the energy of creation, destruction, and rebirth that entails. Our magic at the full moon can be very potent. It is a special time for emotional healing and for asking for manifestation of any kind, like getting a new job or attracting love. Some mother goddesses to connect with at the full moon can be Isis, Demeter, Danu, Pachamama, Frigg, sea, Madron, Lakshmi, Aphrodite, among countless others. At the next full moon, remember, she is there to offer you this nurturing, powerful energy of creation and manifestation. F, full moon. So I know the full moon just passed, so you can use this information for the next full moon if you want to. You're going to get the energy of the full moon and bring it into you and let the energy fill you and bring the energy of the Mother Goddess into you. And you can listen to her through this little exercise. What you would do is you can see the moon, or you can imagine it if the moon is behind the clouds, and you put your hands up in the air, but in the form of like a cup, like this. It's like your chalice. And you would put it up in the air, move back a little bit, and you would just imagine the silvery energy of the moon entering into your chalice. And you can sing a song, or you can say a prayer. You can say some words. Think of a Mother Goddess that you'd like to connect with, or just think of the moon herself. And you feel that silvery, glistening energy entering into your hands that are cupped like a chalice. And then after you feel like you've done that enough, you can lower that chalice to your lips and drink it. And you would drink that silvery, cleansing, nurturing energy into you and let it just fill you up. And then when you feel that you've ingested the energy and you've brought it into yourself, you can listen for messages of the goddess. Let her speak to you in a very special way. So that's a little exercise for the next full moon. We also sometimes like to howl at the moon. It's really fun. You can try it. Just like the wolves, what they do, it's to bring that power and connect to that force. Oh! So I was able to do that exercise when I was in the ayahuasca ceremony on Sunday. And that was so powerful and so cleansing and so beautiful. Ayahuasca is a very powerful forest medicine, meaning that it comes from plants, and the indigenous people who ran the ceremony were from the Hunikuin tribe. They come from a tribe that is very far into nature, very far away from the city. And they came into the city to bring the medicine to us. It was a group of women who have been training under the chief in their tribe, so they could bring it to other women. And so they are extremely serious, and it's a very, very, very spiritual experience. A lot of people I've heard have tried ayahuasca in a certain situation where it wasn't such a spiritual experience. It was more like they bought it on the internet and drank it with their friends. And I would seriously recommend that you find a source that is a serious, spiritually founded, deeply spiritually trained source to bring you this type of experience. It is very transformative. The group that brought it to me is they live out in the forest normally, which you can only get to by a boat on the river or by airplane. There's no roads driving to there, so it's very far away, and they are quite isolated. That means that their practices are very traditional and deep rooted in the forest and nature. So if you want to try ayahuasca, I recommend that you look for a source, and for people who will run the ceremony who are very serious about the spiritual cleansing and the spiritual transformation that happens, and very careful with the energies that are being worked with when you drink ayahuasca. My experience was very, very transformative, and it was this time a little bit smoother than the first time I took it. The first time I took it, I felt very scared because I didn't know what was happening. And I was really frightened because it was a sensation that I had never felt before, even after 20 years of working with meditation and altered states of consciousness. This was something that I had never felt before, so it made me very scared. And so that affected, of course, my experience. And my experience was very hard, very, very, I wouldn't say painful, but it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. It was about 1.5 years ago that I did the first time. And this time I felt that it was the right time for me to try it again and to answer the calling of the forest medicine one more time, to see what the medicine had for me and how I could connect to nature through it and my own nature. When I went, I was less frightened because I already knew the basic structure of the ritual, and I knew the basic effects of ayahuasca, and I also was less afraid because I knew that I would come out the other side. Because when you're in the middle of it, sometimes you feel like you're never going to come out of it, because it's a very consciousness altering medicine that comes into you. My experience was that I sometimes felt like I was in another place, and then all of a sudden I would come back. I became very nauseated. The medicine works through your body, so sometimes you have to let out different things that need to come out. So sometimes you have to go to the bathroom. Sometimes you get sick. You feel like vomiting. Sometimes you spit a lot, and it's all very natural for the people who work with this medicine all the time. It's part of the process for them. There's no shame involved in that. I remember the first time that I took it, I felt a lot of shame when I felt the need to, purge whatever was going on, because there's a lot of thoughts that need purging and working through, and then the body kind of reacts to that. So I'm talking about this because this was a part of my cleansing process, and I want to tell you that it's amazing. For me, I would recommend to only someone who feels the real calling. I have been married for over 10 years, and my husband has been recommending ayahuasca to me for 10 years. I finally found it and realized that it's something that I could work with too. So if someone is recommending it to you, it doesn't mean that it's your time if you don't feel that calling. I feel that about every kind of emotional transformation, spiritual transformation work that we need to do. We hear the recommendations of other people, and then we make our own choices of how, if we're ready or not to take part in those ceremonies or rituals or that spell, and then when you do feel like you can answer that call, the next step would be to find a source that is going to bring you a very serious, deeply rooted in nature ceremony that will bring you the safest and most meaningful experience that you can get. Yeah, ayahuasca, it's amazing. The last time I took it, the animal that appeared for me was the leopard. Very, very strong energy of that animal and all that it represents. And at that time in my life, what that animal represented. This time, the animal that appeared to me that spoke to me, that I felt like I turned into at one moment, was the macaw. This is a macaw feather. It was fantastic. Connection to nature, connection to the forest, connection to all spirits of the forest. In my practice, I sometimes connect with what we call power animals or totem animals. What that means is there's an animal that has a spirit around you, and you can speak with it, learn from it, sit with its energy and feel it empower you. Sometimes there is healing connected to whatever energy that animal comes to you in a meditation or in a journey. And so speaking of that, I will choose for today an animal card from this deck. Let's see what animal wants to speak with me today. Very pretty. Remember that I'm pulling this card for me, and I'm going to put it on my altar. And since you're watching this card may apply to you too. Here we go. I'm going to just split the cards, and I'll choose one from the top. It is the mouse. Here we go. Mouse, be persistent and incisive, and all obstacles will be overcome. Interesting. Let's see what the book says. Mouse, mouse, mouse. Mouse is tiny and gentle, but no shell is so hard that mouse cannot reach the delicious center within. And no obstacle is so tough that it cannot be overcome. As your guide, she counsels persistence to you, may break through the barriers that block success. Vulnerable to many, mouse must scrutinize and look beyond the obvious to the pattern within and assess the hidden agenda of others. Emulate mouse and your path through life will be safe indeed. It's about looking beyond the surface to see what might be going on in order for you to make the best decisions. And in order for me and you and whoever else needs the mouse to overcome an obstacle, you might need to do a little wiggling, right? Just like the mouse. So write in the comments, let me know if the mouse might be something that you will work with this week. So yesterday I watched a film with my husband called True Spirit. It was about Jessica Watson, the sailor, the Australian sailor who sailed around the world. It's a fantastic, inspiring movie, very moving. And they played a song in that movie that I would like to share as our power song today. Our power song today is Brighter Than the Sun by Colby Kylet. I put a link in the description of a playlist that I'm making of the songs that I talk about on Brigit's Breakfast. So check it out. Okay, so I'll just get you started off now. Thanks for watching. This has been Brigit's Breakfast with Daphne. Have a great day.
Ciao, Brigit, vieni qua.
Vuoi tomare caffè?
Certo, il caffè.
No.